I'm Tommy Europe.
I'm Catherine Law Hedquist.
And I'm Charles Foster.
And we're on the grind with
Valentine for Black History Month.
He was grind, interviewing all the time. Ain't gotta say the name, you know who was Valentine. Never know who you're gonna see him talking to, but you know they shine bright up in the interview. Lights, camera, action, ready for some passion. Man, cause he got what most of y'all lacking. Hacking, celebrities go cracking. Everything goes in orderly fashion. So if you think it's your time to shine, baby, you better catch up with Valentine, baby. On the grind, TV on your mind. Let's see who's gonna shine now. Constant on grind now.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man Valentine, baby. It's On the Grind TV for Black History Month. Man, today we got some people sitting in with me today. Woo! My man Tommy Europe is in the house. Catherine Lau Hedquist is in the house, and my man, the Mr. Charlie Foster. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, brother.
How's everybody doing?
Like
Very
a roach
well.
on the poach, too smooth to move.
I know it.
Well,
You the Black History man.
No. Albert is my friend Albert Smith.
Albert Smith. We know Albert.
We've got the back alley talk.
He's got the back alley talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back alley talk.
He's a back alley man. Anyway.
I think we're going to have too much fun on this show today. So, Black History Month, man, we want to talk about a bunch of things. And there's a lot of things happening in the news. But Black history in BC and certain things that's going on. And my first thing that I want to talk about is because I know this brother. And I'm just going to put it out there for you guys.
okay.
This brother lives in White Rock. And for 37 years, that this race, the Tour de White Rock, we're talking about the Tour de White Rock, people. And 37 years that this thing has been going on, this man is the founder, and he has no recognition. And I'm surprised that nobody knows about that. And I mean, what can people do to make sure this man gets his recognition? I mean, what does the mayor have to do?
How is it that he has no recognition?
You know, I think it's been that they've probably taken him out of the entire, I guess, the lineage of the entire Tour de White Rock. So this is why I think nobody knows about him.
But I think also if you Google that name, you'll be very hard pressed to find any information whatsoever about it. So
Yeah.
the fact that it's not even there, it's hard to give somebody recognition if they're completely removed. So
Exactly.
there has to be there's a disconnect somewhere. And me only living here for about 20 years now, I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
You know what? Believe me.
Living in White Rock for 20 years, I haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's very similar to the things that have been happening with us historically, where we have been part of a lot of different things, but we haven't got any recognition for it. We have initiated things, and things have grown and become global in some senses.
Right.
Didn't get recognition. I will give you an example of something that you didn't put in here, and that's about one of the individuals who was who helped start the Green Party, a fellow named Stuart Parker.
Right.
That's the nephew of Harry Jerome. So Harry Jerome was a great Canadian athlete who'd never got recognition, statues in Stanley Park.
Right.
But when Stuart was a hard-working young man who put a lot of energy into the Green Party. And when that party began to move up, all of a sudden, Stuart was no longer part of it.
Right.
So it seems that we're okay. You know, we're like a moped. We're
Right.
fun to ride, but you don't want to be seen on it.
There is another, perhaps, perspective on this, too, though. Okay. The other question is, does he want to be associated? Is it the event, is it the event that he was after creating, or is it morphed into something else where he's removed himself, and do we need to respect his separation? Two, was he doing it as part of another larger function as his job, for instance? I mean, I'm not recognized every time I do something in my work functions as
Right.
being me. So if he had, I don't know if he was on City Hall or if he had a job where creating and promoting an event was part of that, in which case there's numbers of bureaucrats who generate things and aren't recognized, despite the fact that they probably should be.
I believe that, I think that he wants to be recognized for this thing because he wants to be known as the founder. But I'm not sure what it would have to take to get him to be the founder. I mean, there's the race coming up I think it happens in May or June.
Yeah,
I think it's June from what I was.
So if it's June, I'm thinking that'd be a good time to say, hey, look, you know what? Bring him out and maybe get his name out there and let White Rock come out and give him a hand and say, you know what, thank you.
And I think people like to celebrate things on the 5s and the 0s, right?
Yeah.
So the time to really do it up, right? I think if we're 3 years out from the 40th, and I think that's when retrospectives, that's when people feel nostalgic and people want to celebrate the origins of something.
Yeah.
So I think rather than sort of clamoring this year to try and pull something ad hoc together, perhaps start, how are we going to recognize the 40th, and he should be part of that at that point.
The interesting thing is too, if you Google Tour the White Rock and you go on their site, normally there's about us. How did this event get started? Who found? There's no information whatsoever about that either.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that can be introduced again, but it's got to be a collective effort from the people that live in White Rock, people who are or part of the event, just to kind of get that recognition, get that knowledge of how did this thing start.
Exactly. You know what? I did call the mayor.
Did you?
I actually called the mayor, and I called the mayor's office and got in touch with somebody. And I think she left me a message saying that they would look into it. And I think it's been, 4 weeks now, that there's no callback.
Time for your Facebook page.
It's time.
Seriously.
It's time to get it out there again. It's time to actually give them a call and say, hey, look, are you guys actually looking into this, actively pursuing this, or what do we have to do?
But there also has to be some mechanism by which support can be shown, right?
Exactly.
So I'm not even kidding when I say a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Wendell Scott, who was just inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the only African-American driver to ever win a race, a lot of that was because people took up to Facebook and Twitter and would tweet during races and raise profile about him to a whole bunch of people who'd never heard of him. And he was put in. So I think that's the same kind of social media strategy, which would raise awareness and let people know that there are numbers of people who support recognition happening.
Exactly.
It's interesting because, historically we have been taken out of the loop. Our history has been denied us from way back.
Yeah.
So when you look at ancient, what they call, the continent they call Africa, Akabula, when you look at that and the fact that we came from there, everybody came from there, but yet we have been systematically removed. Any of our contributions to civilization. So it shouldn't surprise you that these things are happening.
Yeah.
And they're going to happen with greater frequency because for some reason it seems to me that black folks represent a threat. And I don't know why. Before we went on air and all this kind of stuff, we were talking about different experiences. And so, here you are, a young man going out to play baseball. You have no idea that these people are thinking this way about you. They don't know you.
Right.
You were going into a place down in was it Atlanta or something like that, opening the door, and the man is just totally rude to you. He didn't know you. So where's that coming from? There's a deep-seated fear. And the way that it's manifests is because they have this attitude of supremacy. The way it's manifests is through controlling the press and economics and all of that kind of thing. So you don't get to know it. And the other thing is, and I know we're going to talk about Willie Lynch later on, but it's about playing us against one another. And if you look at the TV right now, and you look at the political, what's going on with the politics, you see the Hispanics being played against one another.
Right.
Rubio against Cruz.
Exactly.
Divide and conquer. This thing is not brand new.
Yeah.
It has been happening, and it continues to happen. So the thing is, open your eyes and ask the questions. Ask the questions to the old people like myself and people who are older, because we can tell you things. We can open, and lead you down the path. We don't have the tech skills that you guys have. You guys know how to go out and do all. You're talking about a Facebook thing. What the hell's a Facebook?
I'm going to give you a tutorial when we're done. Don't worry, I got you.
We'll catch you
I got you,
up.
Charles.
We'll catch you up.
You know?
Don't worry, man. Yeah.
No. See, when I was a kid in school, they had a book that they'd pass around, and everybody signed your name in it, and people would write comments on it. And they finally took it out. I went to all black school.
The yearbook. The yearbook.
The
No,
yearbook.
no. This was not the yearbook. This was like a book that was passed around during the regular school year, like one of those little composition books, and all the cool kids had their names in it. It's an all-black school, all right? And different kids would write cool, calm, and collected, or good-looking, or ugly, and stuff like that. Well, the teachers got a hold. Teachers got a hold of that and said, "Hey, this is wrong." So I guess this is the equivalent of Facebook is the modern day thing.
So you trying to tell us you started Facebook early? Oh my goodness! Listen, you know what? I know, but is there a conclusion to that though? How do we get this man? I don't know, what would you call it?
I think to pick up on your point about our stories and them being told, the media has now been democratized. Before it had to be pitching a newspaper or pitching a television station or pitching a radio station to have them take some interest in a story we were trying to gain traction. We can do that now. We have social media. We have the ability to be our own broadcasters and to mobilize our communities and coordinate them in ways to support things that we believe should have focus. And I think that as much as Facebook may not be your first strategy, I think it should be among the ones we look at in terms of rewriting the history we want to leave for the next generations. And we have to be responsible for that.
I mean, I couldn't say it any better than myself. I mean, just getting the word out and just having enough of a voice so that it forces, whether it's the mayor calling you back, or enough people that are in the city of White Rock figuring out, hey, let's find out more about this guy. Let's see how it started, why it started, and incorporate him back into the history of the event.
Exactly. You know what? The next thing we're gonna talk about is we're gonna get a little bit on the Willie Lynch letter. So now you guys can think about it. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. So when we come back, we're talking about the Willie Lynch letter. If you don't know, you will know now, because Charles is going to inform us about a little something about the Willie Lynch letter, because I know he knows more about it than we do, right?
Well,
it's true. No, save that for later. Save that for later. I know you're thinking about it, because we're going to get you on Facebook in a minute, but...
No, don't do that. I don't want anybody contacting me.
Okay. So, you know what? We'll be right back, y'all.
So...